come to know goodness? How do you come to know the telos of humans? How do you come to know these ethical problems? And I said, well, I don't know. And he's like, and I kind of went through a number of other ideas I'd had, like weird Platonism things, lots of math analogies, available on request. And he said, okay, yes, you've like listed all these ideas that you've had and rejected. So like it doesn't really help to keep rehearsing ideas you think that are wrong. Like, do you have anything new to say? Anything new ideas to consider? And I kind of, complained for a bit, and he's like, pushed again, like anything new, like have a new thought and explore it. I just kind of burst out, well, I don't know, I guess morality just loves me or something. And he made a face. And I said, like, look, just because I say things doesn't mean they're true. Like, hang on. But it did turn out to be what I kind of believed. Because if I had started with this idea of morality as like a giant rule book, right, like math, like a perfect book of theorems that are all true and in some way accessible to me, but I couldn't figure out a way I was building my way up. And I still had knowledge of them. The knowledge must be coming from the other side. That instead of me kind of working out how ethics worked entirely on my own, then in some way, like, ethics itself was offering itself to me. At that point, I'm not just talking about a rule book, right? I'm talking about something that wills, that does. I'm talking about an agent. And I also had kind of the impulse of love, that this was a gift. And when you start saying, like, the form of the good which acts as an agent in the world with a particular love for human beings, and it makes of itself a gift for them. Most people just say God. It's much faster. And that was really the turning point for me. And so we played Mumford & Sons and we prayed night office. I took a little time to like keep working over the kind of chain of reasoning that had led me here to make sure I really held by it even when it was daytime or like a week later or a month later. But ultimately that was kind of the question of how do we come to know the good? And the answer was God. God offering himself to us that flipped me over from my patchy not false to my unexpectedly consistent and true Catholicism. Now I said my friends did kind of 3 things for me to help me to get here. I mean, misled you. They really did 4. Because the 4th thing was doing all 3 again all the time. Because being a Catholic, or really honestly holding to any philosophical position, though it's better if that position is Catholicism because I do think it happens to be true, is a process of constant conversion. That even after I became Catholic, I still had the task of learning to have a relationship with God as a person, rather than as a philosophical truth claim, which was a big journey for me. And it's what I talk about a lot in my book, Arriving at Amen, of having the task of learning to think with God, not about God, or not just about God. I still indulge in a bit of nerdy theology now, too. And to be able to do that, I kind of still needed my friends to keep giving me the gift of reasons to be interested, a connection to those higher questions, and still being anchored in actual lived human experience. And when I think about what it was they were doing, those 3 gifts they gave me and keep giving me day to day, I really do think that there's a connection to what it is we look for and what it is we think God gives us. We talk about God sometimes as being, perfect truth, perfect beauty, and perfect love. If you look back at what my friends gave me, that reason to ask questions, the curiosity, the attraction, that's what beauty does for us. Beauty draws us forward. Beauty stokes desire. But once desire is kindled, we kind of can't follow it blindly, usually. And it's that connection to higher questions, that desire for truth, particularly, seeing truth itself as beauty, and having that same pull, that yearning for it, that my friends were giving me with all those philosophical discussions. And as we pursue truth, when we offer it to others, that's our act of lived love. And so really, I've told you my conversion story, and I certainly endorse your telling it to other people because I found it very moving, but I think what my friends gave me is kind of the most useful thing to take away, because it's kind of the general way to offer God to people. To give them a reason to ask questions, a connection to the most important questions, and a way to bring those questions back to the scale at which you can live them, is a way of pursuing beauty, truth, and love. And if you're helping your friends kind of chase all of those things in good faith, you can be pretty sure you're inviting them to come to know God. Thank you.